Hello, hi. Sarah from The Upcoming. I love your dress. So lovely.
Thank you so much.
Can you give us a brief intro to this movie? What can audiences expect coming in tonight?
Hello. This is 100 Nights of Hero, and it is a feminist fairy tale, I'll say, set in an adjacent world ruled by a despotic god called Birdman.
Amazing. And it does feel like a very full circle moment. Julia Jackman had her debut here, bonus track. Here she is closing out the London Film Festival for this year. What do you think makes her such an incredible director?
So I produced her debut, and I would say that what she brought, that was a much smaller film, but what she brings to both is an ability to pick people who she trusts, who can work to deliver her vision. She also trusts them, so she's not a micromanager. She just brings people together in a really beautiful way, and it creates a really genuinely brilliant atmosphere where something like this film, which was not a high budget, it needed people with incredible imaginative flair to create a whole other world. And she's exactly the director to bring that off, along with inspiring confidence in a stunning cast.
And I was reading that actually she'd first had the idea for this project of adapting this graphic novel quite some years ago, and it was sort of sat in a drawer somewhere, and it was perhaps after the pandemic that it all kind of came to the fore again. So what do you think made now the right time to adapt this story?
That's such a good question. I think there are a lot of very poignant themes, potentially about certain governments at the moment. There's a lot of authoritarian overtones to the project. I'm not at all light-handed. It's a very big part of the project. And I think that speaks to a lot of people, potentially particularly women at the moment. It's a lot about feminism and repression. And I think to people like Emma, they took a real leap coming on board before the film had finance, which is why they're one of our executive producers. And I think potentially the themes really spoke to them.
And was this the dream cast? I mean, you got Nicholas, Emma, of course, Charlie XCX. I mean, like, whoa.
Absolutely. And yes, it was. And I can honestly say, hand on heart, Nicholas and Emma, who both came on board before anybody else, were both absolutely first choices. There have been no other offers. That was Julia's vision right there. And in fact, we pretty much slam dunked across the board. I think once you've got two people like that, there's a vote of confidence, isn't there, in what Julia's doing and what she's putting together, and it gives confidence to other actors in what you're building. So,
and from your point of view, getting the film made, getting it off the ground, actually being there on the shoot, what were some of the highlights, some of the challenges?
I would say some of the highlights were things like watching Richard E. Grant as Birdman, which you'll see, I feel like a British institution like him, and seeing him put on this whole persona and whole character, it's just a fantastic thing to see. So 100% that. And I think just watching, it's always my favorite thing as a producer, is that like first day on set and you're watching all the heads of department do their work and create things, and you don't really know what they're doing in the best possible way. You're trusting people to just create and pull together, and you don't understand exactly the machinations of it, and it looked fantastic. Yeah.
Favorite scene as well when you watch it back now?
There's a really brilliant montage scene between Micah Monroe and Amir El Masri, which is to do with their wedding, and I laugh every time.
And what do you hope people will take away? Like you say, hitting on some maybe like political undercurrents there, there's feminist themes. I guess it's also a bit of a bit of a ride to go on and a bit of escapism.
That is exactly it. I think you've absolutely summed it up. The most hard-hitting pieces sometimes I think actually are entertaining. It's only maybe a few hours after you've left that you think, oh wow, actually that really had something to say. And I think we want audiences to be entertained and potentially therefore to watch it more than once, something that you might come back to and really think about.
And obviously we're at the end of London Film Festival for this year. What does it mean to be here on this final night? And I guess, how do you feel that it represents our cinema landscape right now? It feels like British talent, both in front and behind the camera, an amazing place, and particularly female filmmakers.
It really does. I feel like this London Film Festival in particular has really stepped up. I mean, it's been an exceptional run of films, and people coming, all the talent, British and otherwise, have really sort of supported the festival this year. And I think British cinema is strong. I mean, that's what we're finding. I think it's coming back. I think there's an audience, there's an appetite, we've got the talent, and we were a pretty much all-female executive and HOD team. So, yeah.
What else are you working on at the moment? You got anything else percolating?
We're actually in production at the moment on a shoot in Greece. And then we've got the next film of a director called Luna Carmoon, who we made her debut, which we hope will go early next year.
Any advice for people who kind of want to crack into the industry, maybe particularly women in production, maybe not one of those roles that people sort of think about immediately?
This is really cliched. It's really hard. I think it's really hard to be a producer in particular because it's very hard to like work your way up. It's like either you're doing it or you're not, is what it looks like from the outside. There are companies doing internships. Obviously, go for it, write those letters. I think it's advice that everyone gives, but it is to start making those short films and find those people that you like working with, because the industry is tricky and you'll have good years and bad years. But if you can find your creative team, like we've been lucky enough to work with Julia, this is our second film together. And if you can keep working with those people, that's the way to do it.
Great advice. Thank you so much. Really enjoyed tonight. Thanks for your time. Huge congrats. Thank you.